Good morning, children. Welcome back after your term end exams and to a new session. In today's class, we begin with the sixth chapter of Civics Understanding Our Criminal Justice System. Now, children, what do we do when we see someone violating the law? We immediately think of informing the police. You might have seen, either in real life or in movies, police officers filing reports and arresting persons. Because of the role played by the police in arresting persons, we often get confused and think that it is police who decides whether a person is guilty or not. This, however, is far from true. After a person is arrested, it is a court of law that decides whether the accused person is guilty or not. According to the Constitution, every individual charged of a crime has to be given a fair trial. The four key players in the criminal justice system are the police, the public prosecutor, the defense lawyer, and the judge. In this chapter, we use a fictional case of theft to try and highlight the process as well as the role of different individuals in the criminal justice system. Most cases go through a process, and understanding this process is crucial so that if ever the occasion should arise, one is aware of the processes that should be followed. The slide you are seeing is the picture of page 67 of your textbook. In the first picture, you see a lady. Her name is Mrs. Shinde. She's searching for her gold chain in the drawer. In the second picture, she is telling her husband, Mr. Shinde, that her gold chain has been stolen. In the third picture, she is seen blaming her maid Shanti for stealing her gold chain. In the fourth picture, Shanti is pleading and begging before Mrs. and Mr. Shinde that she has not stolen their gold chain. But Mr. Shinde goes to the police station to file an FIR against Shanti. Sub Inspector Rao records Mr. Shinde's FIR. Children, in this page, in the first picture, Mr. Shinde and Sub Inspector Rao tell Shanti that rupees 10,000 have also been discovered from her trunk, so she will be arrested and taken to police station. Sushil, Shanti's brother, arrives and pleads with Sub Inspector Rao to release Shanti, but he refuses. Forcibly, Sushil is also kept in the custody, beaten, and forced to confess theft. He is released after 2 days, but Shanti is still behind the bars. The magistrate appoints Advocate Kamla Roy as Shanti's defense lawyer at government expense because she is poor and cannot afford to hire a lawyer for herself. On this page, Shanti and Sushil are seen handing over their charge sheet to their advocate Kamla Roy. Kamla Roy cross-examined Mrs. and Mr. Shinde. On the last page, as the trial is ending or nearing completion, Sub-Inspector Rao tells the court that a gang of young men have been busted who have been stealing jewelry from Shinde's neighborhood. They had stolen Mrs. Shinde's chain also. Some of the members of the gang were Mr. Shinde's son's friend. The chain was discovered from them. Finally, Shanti is released as she has been established innocent. From this incident, it can be seen that there are four key players in the criminal justice system, namely the police, the public prosecutor, the defense lawyer, and the judge. Now, what is the role of police in investigating a crime? One important function of the police is to investigate any complaint about the commission of a crime. An investigation includes recording statements of witnesses and collecting different kinds of evidence. On the basis of the investigation, the police are required to form an opinion. If the police think that the evidence points to the guilt of the accused person, then they file a charge sheet in the court. Police investigations always have to be conducted in accordance with law and full respect for human rights. The Supreme Court has laid down guidelines that the police must follow at the time of arrest. detention, and interrogation. The police are not allowed to torture or beat or shoot anyone during investigation. Fundamental rights. The police cannot inflict any form of punishment on a person even for petty offences. Article 22 of the Constitution and criminal law guarantees to every arrested person the following fundamental rights. First, the right to be informed at the time of arrest of the offence for which the person is being arrested. Second, the right to be presented before a magistrate within 24 hours of arrest. Third, the right not to be ill treated or tortured during arrest or in custody. Fourth, confessions made in public custody cannot be used as evidence against the accused. Fifth, a boy under 15 years of age and women cannot be called to the police station only for questioning. The Supreme Court of India has laid down specific requirements and procedures that the police and other agencies have to follow for the arrest, detention, and interrogation of any person. These are known as D.K. Basu guidelines. Some of these guidelines include: first, the police officials who carry out the arrest or interrogation should wear clear, accurate, and visible identification and name tags with their designations. Second, a memo of arrest should be prepared at the time of arrest and should include the time and date of arrest. Third, it should also be attested by at least one witness who could include a family member of a person arrested. The arrest memo should be countersigned by the person arrested. Fourth, the person arrested, detained, or being interrogated has a right to inform a relative, friend, or well-wisher. Fifth, when a friend or relative lives outside the district, the time, place of arrest, and venue of custody must be notified by the police within 8 to 12 hours after arrest. First Information Report FIR. Now, FIR or First Information Report, it is with the registration of an FIR that the police can begin their investigations into a crime. The law states that it is compulsory for an officer in charge of a police station to register an FIR whenever a person gives information about a cognizable offence. This information can be given to the police either orally or in writing. The FIR usually mentions the date, time, and place of the offence, details of the basic facts of the offence, including the description of the events. If known, the identity of the accused persons and witnesses is also mentioned. The FIR also states the name and address of the complainant. There is a prescribed form in which the police registers an FIR and it is signed by the complainant. The complainant also has a legal right to get a free copy of the FIR from the police. Now children, in this slide you can see the picture of the form which has to be filled when an FIR is being registered. What is the role of the public prosecutor? Public prosecutor, who represents the interests of the state, has a very important role to play. The role of the prosecutor begins once the police has conducted the investigation and filed the charge sheet in the court. She has no role to play in the investigation. The prosecutor must conduct the prosecution on behalf of the state. As an officer of the court, it is his or her duty to act impartially and present the full and material facts, witnesses, and evidence before the court to enable the court to decide the case. What is the role of the judge? The judge is like an umpire in a game and conducts the trial impartially and in an open court. The judge hears all the witnesses and any other evidence presented by the prosecution and the defense. The judge decides whether the accused person is guilty or innocent on the basis of the evidence presented and in accordance with the law. If the accused is convicted, then the judge pronounces the sentence. He may send the person to jail or impose a fine or both, depending on what the law prescribes. What is fair trial? Article 21 of the Constitution that guarantees the right to life states that a person's life or liberty can be taken away only by following a reasonable and just legal procedure. A fair trial ensures that Article 21 of the Constitution is upheld. What is fair trial? Firstly, Shanti was given a copy of the charge sheet and all other evidence that the prosecution presented against her. Shanti was charged with the offense of theft that was defined as a crime in the law. The trial was held in an open court in public view. Her brother Sushil could attend the court hearings. The trial was held in the presence of the accused. Shanti was defended by a lawyer. Shanti's lawyer, Advocate Roy, was given an opportunity to cross examine all the prosecution witnesses. Advocate Roy was given an opportunity to present witnesses in Shanti's defense. Although the police filed a case of the theft against Shanti, the judge assumed her to be innocent. It was the responsibility of the prosecution to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Shanti was guilty. In this case, the prosecution failed to do so. It is significant that the judge decided the matter only on the basis of the evidence before the court. The judge did not jump to the conclusion that Shanti was a thief just because she was poor maid servant. Instead, the judge remained impartial, and since the evidence showed that some young men and not Shanti was the thief, he set Shanti free. In Shanti's case, justice was finally done to her because she was given a fair trial. A few words of glossary have to be learnt. Accused. In the context of this chapter, this refers to the person who is tried by a court for a crime. Cognizable. This refers to an offence for which the police may arrest a person without the permission of the court. Cross-examine. This refers to the questioning of a witness who has already been examined by the opposing side in order to determine the veracity of his or her testimony. Detention. This refers to the act of being kept in illegal custody by the police. Impartial, the act of being fair or just and not favoring one side over another. Offense, any crime that the law defines as a crime. Any act that the law defines as a crime to be charged of a crime. This refers to a trial judge informing the accused in writing of the offense for which she will face trial. Witness. This refers to the person who is called upon in court to provide a first-hand account of what she had seen, heard, or known. That's all, children. Thank you so much.